It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn.
Anthony, my man.
Hey, Glenn, I was just about to get up to get my Danish as you're introducing me. I was like, oh, what's more important, saying hello to you or getting my Danish?
I got to tell you, this is the most special day of my life. I'm actually more important to you than a baked good.
I didn't say that.
Damn it.
I just didn't want to embarrass myself.
Well, now you've embarrassed me because here I opened up my heart to you, and I've been rejected.
So you know what we're doing today, Glenn?
I do.
We are going to go
on
my Facebook page, and we are going to answer questions that people have for us for our program.
Yeah, that's right. I love the idea of having the audiences, give us some topics to talk about. Mostly, it's great to be able to really address the things that people are curious about, but also, I'm too lazy to have to keep thinking up ideas for shows.
So I say Danish, and what do you say?
Flemish?
No, I say Danish, and you say that wonderful Danish is provided by...
I know. I was already picking up my piece of paper. We're here at the Garden City Hotel, our wonderful home away from home. Whenever we're not recording on the road, doing live shows or on location at different events, we love to be here at the Garden City Hotel. Not only is the hotel great, but the food is absolutely fantastic because they've got Red Salt Room by David Burke. And on Thursday, January 17th, there's a complete culinary journey through Italy's wine-making regions, then back to the private dining room in the Red Salt Room. You're going to get an amuse-bouche, specialty craft cocktails. Then you're going to get an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of the chef's kitchen and the pantry, and then join for a dinner party with fellow food and wine enthusiasts where you'll unwind and get a chance to have some great food and
you
Italian
may
wine
actually
pairings.
find us doing our podcast, and then we'll invite you to our podcast.
Yeah, we got to do a live event here one night. We've actually been talking to the team over here about setting that up. We're just trying strategically to work that out.
So what's the first question, buddy?
All right. I forgot about that. I was so excited about thinking about eating at Red Salt Room that I forgot we got a show to do. All right. So one question from Franco Morganti is, he's really curious about requesting people to do direct social networking, meaning inviting people to like the hotel page, to make a review, compile a feedback form, collecting the email addresses, and all of that kind of stuff. So what would you, in your expertise, Anthony, say you're creatively experienced professionally, what would you suggest people doing? Can you ask guests to do these things? Should you ask guests to do these things? How would you handle it if it was your hotel?
Okay. I don't ask guests to do any of that stuff. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. I am just kind of shy when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
Meaning professionally shy. I want my service and I want my team to shine. And I always say if the guest doesn't say wow when they stay at our hotel, we failed. So if you're saying wow, you're going to go online. You're going to talk good about my hotel. With that said, you're going to post great pictures of the dining room or the room. You're just going to instantly do it because we're working really hard to do it. With that said, that is the wrong way to do it. You should ask guests in a very professional, nice way to please go on our Instagram, please go on our Twitter, please go on our Facebook, and please talk about us if you really had a positive experience. And if you haven't, please let us know right away so we can take care of it. So absolutely you should ask your guests, but it's got to be done in a very classy, very respectful, very humble way.
Right. And I would say if you're liking this experience, give us 5 stars
on
matter of fact,
iTunes. It's funny you said, because every time you ask people to rate us 5 stars, I kind of get a little embarrassed. And what do I say when I say it? I say, hey, if you want to raise 5 stars, raise 5 star. Or if you want to raise 1 star, raise 1 star. Whatever you want us to do. I'm embarrassed by that. I don't like asking people for things. Well, it's just my nature. But professionally, it's okay as long as you do it in a very professional way.
Right. And I mean, honestly, I think if you're proud of yourself and the job that you've done, why not ask
just
for it?
Who I am.
But I get it, man. I feel kind of the same way. The whole drawing attention to yourself is just a weird
If you
thing.
want to see me turn red and get very embarrassed, be at a dinner party with me or be anywhere with me with 3 or 4 people talking and someone come up to me and tell me that they enjoy my show.
Right.
I will get beat red and I will turn the conversation over to somebody else, and I will almost walk away. If you're with me one-on-one, then I'll take that compliment. I'll appreciate that compliment.
Right.
But if I'm with 3 or 4 people, I get embarrassed because like these people are all professionals. These people work hard. These people have lives. Why the fuck am I more important than them? And why am I having to take this compliment when that's not what this is about? So
Right.
I get, believe it or not, because people wouldn't think, because I come off pretty, I don't know, cocky, but I come off pretty confident because I am. But I'm also very thoughtful about, I ain't that special. So when I'm asking people to rate my hotel, I feel like, oh, look at me. I'm a 5-star guy
Right.
and rate my hotel. With that said, it is the right thing to do, and there's professional ways to do that. Now, if I had a really good co-host that would say, and what are those professional ways, Anthony, that if I had confidence in him to ask me those questions, I would have taken a breath.
Right.
Which I don't, so I'm going to ask myself that
Yeah, I was
question.
about to say, sadly, maybe one day you'll have a really good co-host, but now you're going to have to deal with middling to
So, no, actually, he was about to ask me that question. I saw it in his eyes. But you do it in ways where you get to learn the guest. So
Right.
if I was going to teach and train my team, it's like, listen, you have a guest that you know has had a great time. You've gotten to know her or know him. You're the concierge, and you sent them to a great dinner. You sent them to the L.A. game, World Series, and they couldn't get tickets if it wasn't for you. And you know they had an amazing experience. Say, hey, if you really liked the experience you had here, can you go online and write us a review? Absolutely. I don't like when somebody's checking out, you really have an established relationship with this person, and you're like, oh, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your stay, and go online and please rate us.
Right. There it just smacks of the transactional as opposed
Right.
to being something that's more heartfelt.
Right.
What do you think about this idea, Anthony? An idea to get the word out on social media, say, hey, take a picture of our food and drink and receive X and X as a
Love
thank
it.
you.
Love it. Those are great ideas. Those are great concepts. Absolutely. I would do it in a second.
Excellent. I love it. All right. So here, I want to go to the next question, but I think the first thing we need to do is take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back after this message. Hey everybody, Glenn here. So listen to this. Cobblestone Hotels is celebrating their 10th anniversary, and man, have they accomplished a lot in the last decade. Already they have more than 150 hotels throughout the United States, but they're in smaller and medium-sized markets. Those markets that the big franchise companies, they're underserving, they're overlooking, and in some cases just ignoring. But Cobblestone is an expert in these markets. And their president and CEO, Brian Wagernes, listen, I've gotten to know him in the last 10 years, and he has worked every job possible, including being an owner and operator. I can personally vouch for how awesome this company is, how awesome he is as an individual, because he understands the importance of finding the right combination of hotel brand and franchise owner. He's also an incredibly dedicated professional. Whether it's a Cobblestone Hotel and Suites Main Street design, Borders Inn and Suites, or one of the newly acquired brands such as Boulders Inn and Suites, Key West Inns, Centerstone Inns and Suites, Cobblestone has brands that range from economy to upper mid-tier, and one that's right for you. Quite simply, Cobblestone Hotels is the franchise for franchise owners. Patrick Mullenix, well, he's Cobblestone's new president of franchise development. Give him a call or check out their website at cobblestonefranchising.com. But give Patrick a call. He's a great guy. I've known him for a really, really long time, too. You can find him at 920-216-0620. That's cobblestonefranchising.com. And tell him Glenn sent you. Okay, and we're back. Anthony, this is a great question coming from Ricardo Montalban, not Montalban.
Before you ask the question,
Yeah.
can I give them a little behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Glenn says, let's go to a commercial break, what happens is
Yes, what happens?
that we stay quiet for 10 seconds.
That's right.
And then, because it gives our editor room to push the commercial in between that 10-second break.
That's right.
So we stay quiet and just stare at each other. And then he comes back and says, "Welcome back from break." But we didn't really go and do the commercial. Commercial's already done.
Yep.
And then we put it in between 10-second break. And the reason I mention that is because we have something on set called room tone.
Right.
Where, you know what room tone is?
This is when you're talking about when you're filming.
Right, when we're filming. Do you know what
No, I don't know what room tone is, but maybe I could guess.
Well, the sound guy, Enrique, who I absolutely love,
Right.
says, hey, room tone, and that basically means we all have to be quiet because sometimes there's different levels of sound during the conversations, and they need quiet time so they can level out the sound in those areas where it needs. And that's about all I know. I don't even know if that makes sense. So, for Enrique, if you're listening, please tell me what room tone means if I'm saying it wrong.
Right.
However, the big thing is don't fuck up room tone.
Yeah.
So like you're sitting there and like sometimes it's like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. We all have to be quiet, and sometimes there's 20 people in the room, and inevitably somebody fucks up room tone. So I only screwed it up twice, and like it's like when I screwed up the first time, I was like, shit! I broke my record. I screwed up room tone, and you screw it up by like forgetting you're in room tone when you start having a conversation,
right?
Or you sneeze or something like that. And so anyway,
well, that's the hardest thing to do is like that moment of silence where everyone's. Nobody can sit still when they tell you to be quiet for like 20 seconds. All of a sudden, everybody's coughing and sneezing and wheezing and doing all of these sounds, which is I find really fun.
So that was just behind the scenes. Let's get back to our question.
All right. So the question coming from Ricardo Monteban is the
Deep Lane.
Yes. By the way, they're making a Fantasy Island movie, which I am so excited about.
This show's going to be called Tangents.
Yeah. I think that
Go on another tangent.
That's actually the name of my first solo album. All right.
Deep Lane, boss.
Ricardo, we're sorry that we've gone on a Fantasy Island tangent here. This has nothing to do with you. I really wanted to go on a Star Trek Wrath of Khan tangent, but we can only do one Ricardo Montalban takeoff per show. And we know your name's Montalban.
Corinthian leather.
Real Corinthian leather. Which is a made-up term, but that's a whole other story for another day. All right. So Ricardo wants to know the 5 signs or so that hint to a well-managed hotel to look for the moment you pull up to the property. Great idea for a topic.
Oh, God, I love that question so much.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay.
And I want you guys to know, Anthony has no idea what I'm about to ask him when I ask him these questions that you guys supply.
Love that question. It's like, I don't know. It's like when you meet the person of your dreams, or you see the car of your fantasy.
You mean what? So we're going to talk about when you met me.
Yes. And it's like, to me, it's such an intimate experience, a hotel, when I first pull up to a hotel. Mm-hmm. So the things that I look for is the parking lot,
right? The
parking lot lines, the painting. If the lines in the parking lot are faded, and what I'm talking about are those lines you park in between. If those lines are faded, that tells me, okay, no one's caring about the outside of the parking lot. Those lines should be painted, and they're there for a reason. At night, you can't really see where you're going, so at least it lets you know this is where you need to park. During the day, they're there to ensure that you're not parking too far to the right or left to ding the other person's car. So to me, those are very important. Then, as I'm walking through the parking lot, the building itself, how's it presented? If the American flag is up, does it look crisp? Does it look clean? Are the windows clean? Are the outside clean? Is the painting clean? Is everything right? I'm not looking at Glenn anymore because I'm trying to focus. So I have my eyes closed again.
I know, very distracting.
And then when I see the bellman or the doorman or the luggage cart, oh my God, you want to get me upset?
I do.
Go into a hotel and have a dirty luggage cart. Like, what does it take to shine up a luggage cart, or to clean the carpet of a luggage cart, or make sure the rubber around the luggage cart is perfect? So those are the things I look for. I go to the front desk, and the number one thing that, of course, that you look for without realizing is the person behind the front desk. Are they looking at you? Do they care about you? If you're standing in line, do they look at you and say, "Excuse me one moment, we'll be right with you"? So just the feeling, and then the scent and the sound. What kind of music are they playing?
Right.
What does it smell like? I always want to smell a really good lobby. And if you have flowers, are they real? Don't have fake flowers. Oh my God, I think I'll knock myself in the forehead. Don't have fake flowers.
And if you do have fake flowers, at least dust them occasionally.
No, if you have fake flowers, don't dust them. Just throw them in the garbage. But yes, well, if you have fake flowers, they're going to be dusty because you're lazy.
Right.
And you're cheap.
Right. Which is why you have fake flowers, right?
No fake flowers. So those are the things I look for. But really, listen, there's two types of people. There's more than two types, but it really comes down to people that notice things and people that don't notice things.
Right.
So you can walk into a room or into a hotel, Glenn, and I can walk into a hotel, and the things that bother me may not bother you. But I will tell you the things that bother me will tell you if it's going to be a good hotel. It may not bother you, but I can tell you if they have fake flowers and they have smudges on the glass and they have somebody at the front desk that doesn't care. I guarantee you the thing that does bother you is a dirty room, and you're going to go up to that room and you're going to find mold, or you're going to find a bed bug, or you're going to find hair, or you're going to find something that's going to bother you. And I guarantee it, because if they don't care about the things they can see, imagine things they can't see, like a hotel room, because they haven't been in the hotel room forever. Their housekeepers have, and if they don't care about as a general manager, as an owner, if they don't care about the lobby, they're not going to care about the hotel room.
Wow. Yeah. I think you're absolutely aces on that particular response. So, what are you supposed to do if you come up and you see all of these things? Do you just stay anyway, or do you try to find somewhere else?
No, you go down, you find the general manager, and you slap him in the face.
All right.
No, you don't do that.
I was about to
Or
say we are not legally responsible for any slapping.
No, listen, you do, like, again, it's going to be your personality, right?
Right.
My personality is that it's going to come down to a couple things for me. One,
Right.
is it really that bad? And do I have the time to deal with it? So if you say to me, Anthony, there's a rip in the carpet, right? And it's
Right.
not affecting my life, I'm going to probably throw a pillow or a chair over it so I
Right.
don't look at it, because it will bother me to look at.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't want to call the front desk and they're going to come up and, like, I don't care about it.
I'm making
Like,
a sick face here because I really don't want people coming into my room to
Right.
fix something silly.
Right. So no. But if there's mold in my shower, I'm going to call and say, can you please clean my shower? I mean, very rarely will I consider checking out of a hotel. There was one hotel, which will remain nameless. It's a very famous hotel in Arizona. And I was so excited about going to this hotel because I've never been there. And it's like, if you're a hotel guy, you go to this hotel.
Right.
You have to be at that hotel. And I walk in. And again, when I go to a hotel, especially if people are paying me to show up, they take care of me, and the rooms are taken care of, and the nice amenities. And I walk in, I'm so excited, and the room smells like sewage. And they just handled it really poorly. And I finally got a nice room, but just the way they went about it, they handled it poorly. I wanted to check out. And if I was on my own dime, I would have checked out.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. I was actually robbed at that hotel once that I think you're talking about.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So what happened was, this is
What happened was?
this is a lot of years ago, and I should say that my wife still doesn't believe me with this story. She thinks that I got
Rolled by a
rolled
hooker.
by a hooker. She really did. Right. So
You know what's so funny? Hold on a second. You know what hotel guys,
Yeah.
even though you're not a hotel guy, you're a journalist
Yeah.
in the hotel business, is that you know the hotel I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and I knew you were going to say rolled by a hooker. And only hotel people will know both of those things.
So what happened is I used to have this habit of, when it's great weather, to leave the windows open, in this case the doors to the patio
yeah.
open. This particular hotel has all the patios connected, and I didn't realize that at the end of the line you can just walk up and start hopping over these low-rise things to get to the room. So I woke up in the morning and my wallet was just gone.
Wow.
So the hotel denied that anything happened to me and treated me like such a criminal. I couldn't get out of town that day. I had to stay an extra day because I had nothing, and they wound up charging me for the night.
So let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
I hate that it happened to you, but that happens a lot to people, and not specifically wallet stolen, maybe ring stolen, ring
Right.
lost, whatever.
Right.
So what does a guest do when they lose a wallet, or a wallet stolen, or they lose a ring stolen? What do they do, and what's the obligation of the hotel?
Well, I went and I immediately notified them as to what happened and explained the situation, and then they immediately went into "we don't believe you" mode,
Right.
unfortunately.
You know what they're supposed to do?
Tell me.
They're supposed to have the police come
Right.
and do a police report.
Right.
And you're supposed to say, what you need to do is get a police report. Please call the police, or we can call the police for you. They'll do an investigation. They will give you a report number, and please file that report number
Right.
with your insurance. You don't, of course, say, yes, my housekeeper probably did it. 99% of people that lose something in a hotel room find it.
Right.
That is literally a statistic.
Right.
So I would never tell you that, oh, you're full of shit. What I would tell you is, I will call the police.
Right.
or you call the police. They'll do a report. Please file it with your insurance company. And I cannot tell you how sorry I am that you're going through this incident.
Right.
But and I'm very hesitant to offer you a complimentary stay, and I'm very hesitant to do anything outside of that because now I don't want you to think I feel guilty about it.
Well,
that doesn't say I wouldn't.
Right.
But it depends on the situation.
The fact of the matter is, by the time I woke up and got to the front desk and started telling them, they had already bought stuff at Walmart. They had already bought stuff at Rite Aid on my credit
Oh,
cards.
somebody. Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was legitimately stolen
Right.
in this particular case, and it was just so offensive.
So
how they handled it.
now, if all of a sudden I know that, and I'm a general manager, now I'm going to take the risk of making a decision,
Right.
and I'm going to say, I'm so sorry. I'll give you your room night for free. Please come back as my guest, but we have to file a police report. We'll get to the bottom of
Right.
it. I'm sorry.
Right.
So in that instance, I, of course, wouldn't take the blame that somebody stole it out of your room. You could have lost it. You could have dropped it, whatever.
Right.
But I would at least empathize with you
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. And I wasn't pissed off at
You just want
a lot
somebody
of
to
things.
empathize.
Right. Here I am, alone, right, in a strange city.
That's why you got a hooker.
This is a lot of years ago. Right. I need that comfort, Anthony. You're going to get me divorced, okay? So, and it was a very stressful moment. And when you have these stressful moments, and you're in the care of a hotel that's supposed to be offering hospitality, I think we have higher expectations that they will be human and they will give you some dignity and make you feel okay about yourself.
Absolutely.
Interesting thing, though, you can fly in this day and age without any ID.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Because I saw somebody the other day. I can't remember where it was. And somebody on Instagram said,
Right.
I lost my ID and I flew anyway, and I didn't follow it
All
up.
right, so what happens is it's just really spooky. And now I got to say that this incident must have happened to me 7 or 8 years ago. So it's a good time already in the distant past, before technology was where it is at today, right? So I get to the airport and I notify them that I have no ID up front, and they're like, okay, come step aside. So I had a conversation with somebody, a representative of the TSA on site, and mind you, I'd called ahead to ask them if I was going to be able to, and they told me I should say something when I show up. I explained them the situation. I gave them some very basic information about who I am, and I guess my home address or something. They said, stay right here. 2 minutes later, they waved me over. They put me on a phone. And the people on the phone are like, what's your name? What's your address? What's the first school you went to? What's your mom's maiden name, right? What is
all that information.
what is this car that you purchased in this particular year? Like all sorts of stuff that only I could know that I didn't know the deep state really knows. So
Wow.
I came away with that situation. This is, again, why I said 8 years ago, knowing at that time there is no such thing as privacy. The government knows absolutely everything about you, and it's a really scary thing.
Wow.
Yeah. But I got to fly home.
Okay.
And
that's
no,
another
I
conversation
didn't
with
get
that.
an upgrade. So
I didn't know. That's good to know because I'm always petrified. All the traveling I've done, I've never
Yep.
lost my wallet or my passport.
Yep.
And I saw an older gentleman, and literally start crying because he didn't have his ID, and like he was running around the airport looking for it, and I was horrified for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very stressful, just depressing situation.
Remind me
Mm-hmm.
when you say, "Tell me something I don't know." Remind me about my passport story.
Okay, I will. I'm going to actually use this pen and paper here and write down the word.
This pen that has the great logo of the Garden City Hotel, and their phone number is 516-747-3000, www.gardencityhotel.com.
Thank you for filling that space for me. The final question that we have today comes from Mr. Tim Kaplan. He wants to know about brand loyalty programs and maximizing the benefits of those programs. But he also goes on to say, do major chains treat brand loyalty patrons any differently? Should they? That's a great question.
You want to get me in trouble, don't you?
I do want to get you in trouble because I'm curious to see how you're going to answer. Yeah.
I want to be treated like a human being.
Right.
Right. So I'm a platinum member on Delta. And I
really just a platinum?
Yeah, you're diamond member. You're such a diamond person.
I'm gonna totally brag about that until I lose it next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him feel bad. I got to spend more time with my children last year than you did. Sorry, you traveled more.
All right, F you. You're absolutely right. I'm a horrible parent.
No, the year before I didn't spend no time because I was traveling. But so yeah, I would love to be a diamond member. I do have jealousy. I may not even be platinum this year because I canceled a lot of my travel because
Dude, I got to go to the Sky Lounge the other day. I was coming back from a speaking gig and I had 3.5 hours. Had nothing to do in the city. Went straight to the airport, just chilled out and did some work in the lounge.
Well, I went to Sky Lounge every day of my life. Every time I go because I just have a platinum American Express card.
Right. Oh,
okay.
Right.
So
Show
anyway,
off.
so
I can't afford that, people. But advertising the show, maybe then I can.
and I never use it. And I never use it. But
loyalty. Let's go back to
that. So I show my
right
ticket, I show my passport or my ID, and the young lady says, "Thank you for being a platinum member."
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I get for being a platinum member.
Right.
I like it that they acknowledge it, but a lot of them don't do it in a very soft, cuddly way.
No.
Some do. So I just want to be treated like a human. I would like them, if I'm traveling on my birthday and I'm sitting there, for them to say, "Would you like a drink?" And I go, "No, thank you." It's like, you don't want a drink on your birthday?
Mm-hmm. It's on us. Yeah.
Tell me the back of your brain wouldn't blow out, and you would be like, "Holy shit! Did the stewardess or the flight attendant just know my birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, Batman!"
Yeah.
Like that's what I want.
Right.
So yes, do they treat you a little different? Yes, but I think what happens is that they get paid for you to be a Priority Club member or a Platinum member or whatever. They make money off of you being in that program. So they want everybody to be in that program, and they treat you like a number a lot of times. Mm-hmm. I'm specifically talking about the hotels.
Right.
Because the hotels, if you're a Priority Club member, you then, as an owner of that hotel, pay IHG, who owns Priority Club, which owns Holiday Inns, who owns Intercontinental. They have to pay them a percentage because you're a Priority Club member in their hotel. So I didn't explain it well. Explain what I'm talking about.
If you're staying for free because you're cashing in points?
No. What I'm talking about, if you're a Priority Club member.
Right. Well, all the major brands, they have to put in a percentage, 1%, 2%, that goes back into the marketing budget for the loyalty program.
Right, but you also have to pay that brand a certain amount of money of that person's bill if they're a Priority Club member. Right. So, of course, you want everybody to be a Priority Club member if you're IHG.
Right.
Because the owner of that hotel, which we know isn't Priority, which is an IHG, has to pay them a percentage of your folio. So my point being is everybody's a Priority Club member. Everybody's on the program, so everybody gets treated exactly the same.
And everybody's in all the programs.
Right. Everybody wins a trophy.
Right. Which is, destroying our entire society.
Right.
That's
so
another show.
So that's, so are you asking me, are there loyalty programs that distinguish you from everybody else? The answer is yes. By and large, in any program I'm involved in, I don't feel all that special.
Right. And I will say, from my point of view, as the hotelier side of me wants to say, everybody should be treated the same, and it should all be exceptional. Right?
No, because I disagree with you. I think it should be exceptional, right? I think it should be exceptional, but there are moments where you can identify exceptional loyalty. Right? So, yes, you should all be treated equally when it comes down to expectations, service, cleanliness. However, if you are going to pick me up at my house because I'm a loyalty member to your brand on my birthday with a car, yes, because I'm loyal to your brand. I don't think you should get that. If you're not loyal to their brand, I should get that. But that doesn't happen.
Right. Now, as a customer, I think I should be treated special because if I'm spending all of my...
But that's a different question.
If I'm spending all of my money
Stay on
you.
the point, Glenn, will you?
Sorry.
Please stay on point.
I thought this episode was called Tangent.
No, but you're right. Everybody should be treated special because they're your client. With that said, listen, loyalty should pay and loyalty should mean something, but it shouldn't be generic. Loyalty has become generic.
Right. And I think the big problem that we have with loyalty programs is if everybody's in every program, then is anyone actually loyal to any one particular company?
And I think some hotels do a really good job of upgrading their loyalty members.
Right.
And that's really what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Don't even knock me on my birthday. Put me in a junior suite.
Yeah, that's right. I think there is something about if you're loyal to a brand, you want some of those senses of immediate gratification.
Right. And if you are I don't want to say priority club, but if you're a member of
A loyalty
program,
club.
a loyalty program, because priority club is actually one
Right.
of the best there is. If you're a loyalty, if you have, I can't speak. If you're in a loyalty program, you should be able to be treated with respect and with the ability to get upgrades. Okay.
Right.
The reason I kind of went through that very slowly is because I
Right.
forgot my point.
Right.
So now,
Did you find it?
So I found my point,
Yeah.
and now I lost it again. So my point being is
Okay, cool.
that loyalty member, when
Right.
something goes wrong, that's when it matters. Because that gives you an opportunity to really over-deliver to that loyalty member.
Right.
Because you're in this generic program, but now something happens, you lose the reservation. Now as a service person, as a front desk agent, as a manager, now really show them what loyalty is. Go way out of your way. Give them the presidential suite. Give them a free steak dinner. Give them the hotel car. Do whatever. Now it's like, okay, now, wow, my loyalty pays.
All right, here's a question then for you. You say given that free steak, this thing, this other thing. If I'm the owner of this particular hotel and this particular guest stays in the family of hotels that I'm a part of, but not necessarily my hotel, should I still give them as much as I would otherwise? Because theoretically, I'll give them that free steak, but they're never going to stay here again.
Who
They're going to be
cares?
loyal to other properties.
Who cares?
Okay.
Everything's so transparent, man.
Right.
I never do anything to get something in return.
Right.
That's not what you should be doing if you're running a hotel. I never give you that free complimentary upgrade or whatever, so I think you're coming back or because you won't say anything bad. I do it because, holy shit, we just screwed you up really, really bad, and I am really sorry, and I'm going to take care of you, and I am legitimately, authentically sorry. Now, of course I want a good review, and of course I want you to come back, but that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because we screwed up, and oh my God, we suck, and you deserve better.
Right. Excellent. Any other thoughts on this particular topic?
No. Listen, and most people, I would hope that you're loyal to a company because
Right.
you enjoy that company. I see people that are loyal to some brands that I just don't understand why they're loyal to. And they're like, yeah, but I get a free cookie. And I'm just like, yeah, but then you get 2 hours delayed on your plane, or you walk into a room with mold, or but they give me a junior suite, but the junior suite has mold in it. What the fuck you want to go in that junior suite for?
Right.
So I am loyal to the companies simply because I like the companies and because I use them so often. If they want to be nice to me, that's great, but I'm going to use them regardless because I really enjoy Delta. I really enjoy my smart water that I'm drinking right now. I enjoy the brands that I'm loyal to, whether it be Apple or whether it be Enterprise Rent-A-Car or whatever it is. I enjoy those brands, and even if they don't do anything for me, their service is always great. Enterprise Rent-A-Car is the best rent-a-car service in the whole fucking world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you ever use them?
I have.
They just blow me away everywhere I go. I want to know what's in the water. Do you know every person that works for them behind the desk has to have a college degree?
No.
Yep.
That's
I had to
interesting.
ask that question because I was like, what's in the water here? Like, why are you, they recruit us in college. And they want to know if we like management, and we have opportunities for management, and we all start in the same place, and we all have to get the cars, park the cars, do whatever. They always ask me if I want a bottle of water, whether I'm loyal to them or not, just because that's what they do for every customer.
Right.
And I just love their program.
Beautiful. I absolutely love that.
And their cars are clean. Every time I go into their competitor, I won't mention the name, but we know who the biggest car company is. It always smells like smoke. It's always dirty. I just don't feel safe in that car. When I get into an Enterprise car, it feels like it's brand new.
Excellent. Beautiful. I love it. So, Anthony, I think wrapping up the show today, tell me something I don't know about you and passports.
Okay, get to the airport. I don't know if I told you the story before, but get to the airport.
Well, I hope not, because it's something I'm not supposed to know.
It's President's Week.
Yeah.
I'm going away with my family, and we're going to Turks and Caicos. And we're going for the first time in our lives with friends of ours, a couple that we're very, very close to, Mark and Loretta. And we have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's in the middle of the winter. It's so snowy. It's horrible, and we're all stressed out. The kids are stressed out from school. We're stressed out from work, and we haven't been on vacation in a while. We get all the kids packed up, and we have to be at the airport at 5 a.m., so maybe it's 4:30, and we get there on time. All the kids were great. Everything was packed. Everybody was so excited. We get there, and my daughter Mia looks at her passport and goes, "Hey, Dad, I think my passport's expired." And I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's not." And I look at it, and I go, "Holy shit. Don't worry about it. I got this," because I'm a problem solver, right?
Oh, my God.
I got this. We're going on that freaking plane.
Right.
And what happened was kids' passports are 5 years.
Right.
Adults' passports, I think,
10.
are 8 years or 10 years. And so my passport was fine because I've traveled all the time. So I said, I got this. I go to whoever it was, the manager of the airline, and I said, "Hey, this looks expired, but, look, we got to go. Like, what do you need? You need my driver's license. You need a pint of blood. You need $1 million. What do you need?" Because we're getting on that plane. And the guy did the best thing in the world. He looked at me and he goes, "You're not getting on that plane. You got to go get new passports." And he said it just like, "Don't even try it," right?
Right.
And he said, "Oh, by the way, I like your show," which really threw salt in the wound.
Right, yeah.
As I'm walking away, he goes, "Oh, I love your show." I said a couple curse words under my breath. So I go to my daughters and I go, "Girls, we got to go home and we got to get passports and we can't go today." My daughter Nina's lip hit the floor. Started crying. My daughter Mia went into complete damage control. Was like, "It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it." My daughter Kara started to cry. And I just went into full friggin' panic. I get home. It's President's weekend. It's Monday, President's Day. The friggin' passport office is closed. I go down to New York City the next day at 4 o'clock in the morning, stand in line with my whole family because they have to be there to get an emergency passport because you can pay X amount of dollars to get a passport. We stand in line. We finally go through the whole thing for hours. And now I said, "Go home, and I'll figure out how to get home later because I have to wait for them to process the passports. You did your job. They had to, take pictures, whatever." And I sat there and I was petrified that that maybe the passports don't happen. Even though they said, "Don't worry, you'll get your passport." So my kids are home. They're already, like, "Okay, we're going tomorrow morning." So now this is Wednesday morning we're going to go. This is Tuesday. I'm in the passport office. I'm frightened. I'm the last person in the passport office, and I still have my passports. And they're like, "Well, do you have a criminal record?" And I'm like, "No." It's like, "Well, I don't know what's taking so long." I said, "Well, I don't either." There's like 3 of us actually in the passport office. I was like, "I don't have a criminal record." They're like, "Well, something happened. You may not be getting it today." And I sheer terror. I was like, first of all, I disappointed them the first time. Now they think they're getting them.
Right.
So now we're done. We're going tomorrow morning.
Right.
Thank God the passports came. I went home, and I don't usually drink at home. I had a really big glass of scotch. We get on the plane Wednesday morning. We fly out to Turks and Caicos. Our friends are already there. I pay X amount of dollars, a lot of money for everything, for just 3 days of vacation instead of 5 days of vacation. And so that was a moment that in our family history will never stop being brought up.
Yeah.
I could do everything perfect. They have great vacations, my kids. But anytime you talk about vacation, it's like, "Dad, tell about the passport story."
Well, I never heard that before.
Okay. So, tell me something I don't know.
I'll stick with the passport thing. I had a buddy, the same kind of thing happened. They show up at the airport. They're ready to go to, get this, Turks and Caicos. And his wife's passport is not expired, but expiring within the next few months. And you and you have to get your passport redone 6 months before it expires, or else they already treat it like it's expired, even though it's not expired. So they got screwed. They had to cancel the whole trip. They had to put it off several months in order to do it again. He was pissed off because she didn't look at the passport. It could have been an easily solvable problem. But since that day, I'm so freaked out about passports expiring that whenever we have a trip that's going overseas, I check my family's passports like every single week to make sure the dates are still valid, so I won't have that happen to me.
It's funny. My kids' passports are, I think, expiring again, and they're within the 6 months, so I got to take care of that.
Right.
But that was sheer other terror. But again, I'm a guy like you have to, like, if you give me a little room, I'm going to get on that plane somehow.
Right.
I'm going to figure it out. But if you say, "You're not getting on the plane, just go home."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay. it was absolute. But now what bothers me is, like, we've had some great vacations. We do some great things. My itineraries are friggin' on point. And the only thing that you remember is that passport thing. And they will talk about that the rest of our lives.
Oh,
But
great.
it was interesting because
Yeah.
you learn how your children handle crises. So my daughter Mia always handles, even when I broke my leg, she was the one that was holding my hand and she was calm and everybody's crying. So it was interesting to see how they all reacted to that crisis.
Yeah, fascinating. After the crisis was debated, then did she have a reaction?
What's that?
Because she handled it so well in the moment.
Which one, the passport?
No, when you broke your leg.
Uh-huh.
And she was with you and like taking care of you emotionally and stuff. After that ended, did she have a breakdown immediately following it? That you
not
know
in not in front of me because I was
Right.
in. But I heard my next door neighbor who stayed with them said that they were all like out of control crying.
Right.
So she may have. I don't know specifically if she did or not. But I'll have to ask you that when I see you later.
Yeah, because I'm like the type of guy that can handle a crisis, but as soon as the crisis is over, then I'm like ready to faint and pass out. You know what I mean?
I handle problems really well. Like when something happens immediately, like somebody falling off a ladder.
Right.
Like I don't handle that as well as I would think I would. But like I handle a problem well. Like if you come to me and say, "Okay, we have a problem," like I don't want crying, I don't want upsetting. Let's deal with this. I'll figure this out. So
Right.
like in the airport, I was like, "Okay, I got this." But like, God forbid, my daughter stubs her toe, it freaks me out a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that too, especially when it comes to the kids and anything that
Right.
negative happens to them. All right, Anthony.
Any more questions? Wait, we're sitting here. Anybody ask any more questions?
We already did the wrap up. We've been at the show for nearly 40
Yeah, but maybe
minutes.
there's another question.
There might be, but we're going to have to save that for another
No, I don't want to,
show.
Glenn. Let's have our
Anthony.
first argument, Glenn.
We are. Yeah. All right. No, we're not doing it.
Yeah, that works with me.
Yeah. All right.
I like that. I like when people yell
Yeah.
at me.
No chance, Anthony. We're
Hold on.
going home.
I'm just curious if there's one more. Oh, my
no.
God, there's 6 comments now. So hold on a second. 5 signs or so that hint to a well-managed hotel to look. So you
We
said
just did
that.
Yeah.
Brand loyalty. Okay, yeah, there's no more.
Yeah.
But I do see my friend Sarah Romulo liked our post, but she didn't have no questions. Sarah Romulo, why don't you have any questions, Sarah Romulo?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. All right. So before we leave, don't forget, please give us that 5-star rating if you think we are deserving of the 5-star ratings on iTunes. If you leave a review, we will read it on the air. Anthony, how can people find you?
They can find me at Anthony Hotels, anywhere you want to be on the internet. And please listen to my other podcast called Extraordinary. You can find it anywhere really where podcasts are. And what we do is we talk to people who are ordinary who just did a little bit extra. And how can we find you?
You can find me at Traveling Glenn on all of the social media sites you have there. Also, check out NoVacancyNews.com. That's my home base for everything that I do in the hospitality industry. Great videos, great podcasts, all focused on the stuff that you love. If you like this podcast, you're going to love some of the others. Check out No Vacancy. Check out the Hotel Design Podcast. Check out the Hotel Tech Podcast and more, all at NoVacancyNews.com. I want to thank everybody for listening today. Anthony, I had a lot of fun recording with you today.
So let me ask you a question. When I look under podcast on Google,
Yeah.
I used to say dictionary, but on Google, if I say podcast, does your face come up?
I'm working on it.
So where's podcast the word come from?
I believe I don't remember the word came from, but I believe it was. I'm forgetting his name now. One of the original MTV VJs coined that phrase. He created the podcast thing 15 years ago or so.
Is a word formed by combining iPod and broadcast. The term podcasting as a name for the technology was first suggested by the Guardian columnist Ben Hammersley, who invented it in February 2004 while padding out an article for the Guardian newspaper.
Okay.
That's what it says.
All right. And we know anything on the internet is absolutely correct.
100%.
So we're just going to take that for as it is. I want to thank you, and for Anthony and myself, Glenn, thanks for checking in.
It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn, teaching you to be the hotelier that you wanna be. It's checking in with